Hi, Katie. Back again. It's Simon Hacking here. We'll travel. We're talking to Katie from Sunville, and this time we're talking about some quite unique experiences that are available in Spain. The background to this is that there's a number of properties that operate under. They have like a particular shared experience, and the shared experience is about thermal healing properties of water, which come with the properties, and also a gastronomic experience. So these properties are located north of Madrid, sort of between an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Madrid. And typically people spend a few days in either one or two of the properties or even all of the properties because they offer quite different experiences. Even though they're all thermal places, they do offer quite different experiences. So the final thing to say is that these are all built in old buildings, which are very, very interesting in their own right. Katie, if you just tell us a little bit again, if you just talk about the particular resorts. I mean, I don't know where you'd want to start.
Yeah, absolutely. The regions that these properties are located in is Castilla, Ileone and Castilla, Manca. So like you said, they're about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Madrid. It's wine region. It's very historic with these amazing there's UNESCO sites nearby. There's lots of historic buildings and things like that to kind of visit. But the properties themselves are very unique in their own way. So if we maybe start with Bruega, so you've got the Castilla Thermal Bruega. Bruega is located in Castilla Manca. It's 78 rooms and it is an 18th century royal cloth factory. Now, this property itself has the most stunning views of the valley. It's got these beautiful gardens that it is set in, but the most iconic part about it is probably the restaurant with its amazing glass domed roof. And again, like the food here is absolutely incredible. So the gastronomic experience across all of the properties is very high, and they very much kind of rely on the local produce and things that can be grown locally. This particular property, you can actually go out and do truffle hunting from here. We work with a local couple who you can go out truffle hunting with the dogs, and then you go back and do a truffle hunting dining experience. So basically everything is infused with truffle. You have wine to complement it from the region, and it's just this really amazing experience. But the property itself is just
Harry, can I just ask on that? Is the truffle hunting, is that a seasonal thing, Katie?
It is seasonal, yes. Yeah, you can do the truffle tasting, but if you actually want to go out with the dogs, then it is seasonal. But
Do you know when that will be?
Normally, I believe it starts around April time.
Fantastic. Okay, that's great. Just gives people an idea. That's
Yeah,
really good. Yeah.
it's one of those because it is so particular as to sort of when the truffles have grown and that kind of stuff. But the best people to ask are the dogs, to be honest with you, because it's them that are hunting it out. This particular property, and again, what I love about the Castilla thermal properties is the attention to detail of making sure that the building is, the fact that it was a royal cloth factory. They've kept as many as the original features as they possibly can.
Right. Yeah.
June and July, Castilla Manca, it's lavender season. So it's really beautiful, these purple fields, and the hotel itself, again, it's the attention to detail where they wrap lavender and leave it on your pillow. The rooms, the decor is very much that of, like your headboard is made of the cloth, which would have been very similar to that would have been made there, and those little things. So it's those little touches, but it's this particular property is within walking distance to the small little town. So again, like you can do a guided tour of the historical sites of the town, and things like that as well. So it is absolutely stunning. And Bruega is actually one of the 5-star properties. So they're made up of 4 and 5-star depending on which one you stay at. But Bruega is a 5-star.
Yeah, I'm saying in terms of building, it's an astonishing building, isn't it? You walk inside.
Absolutely, like I say, as you kind of walk in, and then there's so much natural light everywhere, but then that glass dome restaurant is just stunning. It's just feels so warm, even if it's raining outside, you kind of step into there and it's I don't know, maybe it's like a bit of a greenhouse effect in the sense that it really kind of keeps the heat, and you just, you can have a cocktail and sit and watch the day go by, or you can have, an amazing dining experience there.
Okay, fantastic. What did you second? What's the second property we want to talk about?
So the second property is a 16th century university building. So this is Castilla Thermal Burgo de Osma. It's made up of 70 rooms, and it's actually one of the 4-star properties that we have. But this property, again, when you walk in, you can tell that it was a university, like there's lots of, again, kept as many of the original features as possible. There's lots of old books and again, they source locally in that area. There's actually over 700 different species of mushroom. So again, the menu will reflect that.
Right?
And it's located near a medieval town. So again, you could kind of walk in and have that experience. But the spa here is absolutely incredible. It's incredible across all of the properties. But I particularly liked this one because as you walk into the main building, there's this glass dome, and as you look down, that is actually the spa down there. So you've got the experience of all these different jets and contrast pools and that kind of thing. So it's great for anyone who, just wants a few days to relax or explore and have great wine and great food. But this particular property, because it's such a gastronomic centre, they have local produce, which includes like crab, baked lamb, vegetables, and of course the mushrooms as well. So yeah, it's a great one to visit.
As you say, it's in the wine region. I mean, the other interesting thing you were saying earlier was that all of these properties have the spas are based over water that has mineral properties in them. So it's not just a place you can go to bathe. It's
no, that's it. Yeah. So the different properties that they've got, they're known for different minerals and things like that are then beneficial to your skin and, again, like kind of the medicinal properties, I guess. So, yeah, it's not just a case of, a relaxation. You're actually kind of having a well-being in there for you as well. So, yeah, it's great.
Excellent. And what was the third property we wanted to talk about?
So the third property is Castilla Thermal Monasterio, Valbuena. Now, this is a personal favourite of mine. I absolutely love this property. It is a 12th century monastery. It's got 79 rooms.
Of course it is, yeah.
But what I love about this property is you open a door and it's a bit like Narnia. You don't really know where it's going to kind of lead you. It could be to one of the wine bars. It could be that it leads you to part of the monastery itself. It's absolutely stunning. And it's got its own 11-acre vineyard here as well. So, this one is very much kind of like in the middle of nowhere, but we do offer a wine tasting experience where you go e-biking around the vineyard and you learn about all the different grapes and things like that. And then you go and have a wine tasting experience with, that amazing Spanish tapas as well. So this one's located quite near the River Douro. So you get those fantastic views of the river here as well. But with this property, what for me, I think is so amazing is the experiences that you can do. So part of the monastery has a workshop, and the workshop actually restore historical artifacts. So you can go and see them cleaning and restoring these pieces, which are centuries old. When we went, we spoke to this lady who was working on a piece from the 12th century, and she said it'll take her 6 to 8 months to sort of clean it and restore it because they literally use like cotton swabs. And so it's absolutely fascinating. There's so much to learn here, and they have they grow some of their own produce, so they've got that farm to table element with regards to the menus, and of course they've got their own wine as well. So you can do tasting experiences there again with the food and with the wine.
Yeah.
But one of the things about the spa here, which is quite unique, is they have something called the St. Peter's Chapel experience. And it's basically a replica part. They've replicated part of the chapel into the spa, and they've made these contrast pools. So you have like a sauna experience, but then you have a cold pool, you've got like a warm pool, you've got the ice plunge and hammam spa and things like that. They only allow 6 people in at any time. So you kind of have you're in part of the monastery. You feel like you're in part of the monastery, but you're having these amazing,
Yeah.
like I say, and
Personalized experience.
experiences. And then to then actually go and have a wander and then see the actual chapel itself, it's quite unique. For me, Valbuena just had the edge, because for me it just had, it ticked so many boxes for me, and it is a beautiful, beautiful building. And once again, they've kept as many of the original features of the building as they possibly could. And it's the service, it's the attention to detail, it's the unique locations, and seeing part of Spain that I think not a lot of people have even heard of, let alone visited. So it's great region to experience.
Well, it's one of those sort of iconic experiences, maybe a slightly overused expression, but although there's we've talked about three of the places, but actually the fourth one, it's part of a philosophy, but there's very different and individualistic parts to each one of them. But overall, you get a very interesting experience about being an older building, great thermal experience, and the eating experience, which is, again, I think, an authentic experience rather than being the, if you like, really fine dining experience. You get to understand what's happening locally. In some cases, you get to find your own truffles if you're so lucky to do that. But it's creating that unique experience where, even though they're not individual size sort of resorts, you get a very personalized experience and a very tailored experience, which I think is amazing. And like we said, almost unique, really.
But yeah, it's very unique. And I think the nicest thing about it is you've got, there's 4 different properties to choose from, that each of their surroundings is completely unique. As you've got these, like I said, some of them are on the outskirts of these historical towns and things like that as well. So the area as a whole is great to kind of visit. And you can twin center the properties, together, or you can just stay in one of them independently. So there's lots of options in that area.
Brilliant. Look, I mean, again, I think that's another set of experiences that people will, I think, really enjoy, because it offers you something different. Once again, I'd really like to thank you for your time, Katie, this morning, and I'll speak to you soon.
My pleasure. Take care.
Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.